All right. It's awkwardly quiet here at the arena. They turned off the music as they're getting ready for the game, but I just figured we'd do a bit of a live stream today because I haven't actually done a live stream since the OHL trade deadline. So I figured I've got some time. I'm at the rink early, so why not do a live stream? Talk a bit about the game ahead as the Barrie Colts get ready to take on the Owen Sound Attack. It's the classic Highway 26 rivalry. The Attack, of course, right now in the midst of fighting for their playoff lives as they kick off a very crucial 3-3. They're here in Barrie tonight. Tomorrow they will be in Kitchener, and then they're home on Saturday to wrap up the weekend. So a big weekend for the Owen Sound Attack, and of course for the Barrie Colts. They still have a chance for first in the Eastern Conference mathematically, although that would mean Barrie would have to win tonight and Saturday against Niagara, and they would need Brantford and Kingston to lose their remaining games for the Barrie Colts to clinch top spot in the Eastern Conference. So it seems unlikely, but mathematically there is a chance that the Colts could still finish first. So we'll have to wait and see how this one goes. Obviously, the Barrie Colts is starting to get back into their rhythm, getting a couple of wins in overtime last weekend. And I see we've got some people tuning into the live stream right now, so not too shabby. I'm glad people are already tuning in. So yeah, we'll see how tonight's game goes. And for score predictions, I almost wonder if I don't want to say the O word, but I'm kind of wondering if this could be an overtime game because the Owen Sound Attack, I think they're going to be desperate. They need these 2 points right now, tied with the Sarnia Sting for that final playoff spot in the Western Conference standing. So I'm expecting this Owen Sound Attack team to come out flying, and especially when you've got Carter George in net, who's expected to play all 3 games this weekend. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. And Jonathan from Kingston, hello there. I'm sure you're ready to check out the game against the Kingston Frontenacs and Brantford Bulldogs tomorrow. That's going to be a huge game that could decide maybe top spot in the Eastern Conference. And Braden says that Josh is yelling at me. I can actually hear myself on the headset, or I can hear it on a headset. So yes, producer Josh is yelling at me, which is great. I appreciate it. Usually I see Josh when I get here early, but he wasn't here before I got here. And see, I didn't want to say the O word. I apologize. I just figure the Owen Sound Attack, they're going to have a big game tonight. So that's why I was leaning towards that. I apologize for saying the O word. And so Jonathan, looking forward to the fan appreciation and sending off the OAs. Yeah, we're going to be having those ceremonies here on Saturday, I believe, for the Barrie Colts. So yeah, it's that time of year we can do a proper send off for all the overagers as they wrap up their OHL careers. And it's going to be always a nice send off. It does feel like the season's ending a little late this year because usually it's the St. Patrick's Day game is the last game before we get ready for the playoffs and have the send off. But it should be pretty good. And Gilroy says our setup went well. Well, that's wonderful. I can see that the booth up here is set up quite nicely. Although I noticed the nameplates were switched for Gene and I, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to sit in my normal spot or if I should sit in Gene's spot. But tonight should be a good game. The Owen Sound Attack, they're already here. They're on the bench gearing up, so we should be in a good game. And of course, Pierce Bowie setting that new scoring record for rookies on the Owen Sound Attack. He's going to be a player to watch here tonight as this attack team getting younger, looking to the future, of course, doing that rebuild. But you can't take this Owen Sound Attack team lightly. And Josh is saying, who would you like the Colts to face in the first round? Oy vey. I'm almost wondering if Niagara would be a good matchup for the Barrie Colts because Niagara 2 wins in their last 18 games or so, I believe. So I think that would probably be a good matchup for the Barrie Colts. But we'll have to wait and see what happens when those 2 teams play on Saturday. So for right now, coming into it, the Niagara Ice Dogs, they are 3 points back of Sudbury. Sudbury lost last night to the Sioux Greyhounds. So because of that loss, the Niagara Ice Dogs still have a chance to get back into that race for 6th place. And it's kind of weird because I can hear an echo through the headset, I think, for the camera to my left. But that's okay. And I already fixed the nameplates. I figured I would do my part and fix the nameplates here in the booth. But yeah, so it should be a good game here tonight. It's, like I said, awkwardly quiet at the Saddle Arena. Usually they got the music playing in the background, but I feel like if I talk too loud, they'll hear me across the ice or they'll hear me at the bench because there's a couple players down there. But it is what it is. And yeah, so hopefully everyone's night's going well. I know the weather outside not the greatest. It's kind of getting a little sloppy out there, especially after what we had yesterday. We're kind of spoiled with the summer-like weather, but it should be a good crowd tonight. We'll have to wait and see who all shows up for tonight's game between the Colts and the Attack, and it gets underway at 7 o'clock. So that should be a good time. And Josh says, at least I didn't say shootout. Well, now you said shootout, Josh. So now that's your fault. Do we really need the shootout, though? Personally, I think we should get rid of it. The shootout's kind of a skills competition. It'd be nice to end the game in overtime. Maybe have a 10-minute 3-on-3 overtime. Make sure you settle it in overtime. Get rid of the shootouts. That'd be my personal opinion. But Josh said the shootouts, not I. I was saying the other word that I'm not going to repeat because apparently it offended a few people in the production room. But at least it's not like the playoffs where if we get overtime, we don't know when the game's going to end. At least we know it's only 5 minutes. Thoughts on Aitchison surpassing Ekblad as the Colts legend? Well, it's pretty exciting for Kayshawn Aitchison. 25 goals on the season, of course, which is the most by a defenseman in Colts franchise history for a single season. So he did a great job with that. And, for Aitchison, I think back to his first season with the Barrie Colts because he's got a late birthday. So he's he's played 3 years before this draft. Like in that first year, it took him until I think game 66 when they were in Kingston for him to score his first career OHL goal. And now 25 goals in a single season. So his progression has been outstanding. And I know there's been some NHL GMs that have been coming to games of late. I know the Flyers, Danny Briere was here at the Saddle Arena a couple of weeks ago. Kyle Dubas was at the game in Brampton just last weekend. So he's getting the attention of some NHL teams that are probably picking in the top 10 area. And he's been, I've been really impressed with Kayshawn Aitchison. And he has the flair for the dramatics, tying the game late and scoring all the overtime winners. Oh, and Zachary, you saw me at the Steel's Heads game on the 14th. Yes, I was there. And I know there was a couple of people who came up and said hi. So next time I'm in Brampton, feel free to come up and say hi. Or if you're here at the Barrie Rink, feel free to say hi. It's always great to meet some of the viewers who are here on the channel. So, yeah, I'm hoping to do a few more road games. I know once the playoffs get around, my plan is to go to the road games. So if it's Barrie versus Niagara, I'm looking to make the trip to the Meridian Center for games 3 and 4. And from what I've been told, so the Barrie Colts will play game 1 on Thursday and then game 2 on Monday because the home show takes over the Saddle Arena. And it sounds like we're looking at maybe game 3 on the Tuesday in Niagara, and then game 4 would be the Thursday from my understanding. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but that's how it sounds if it's Barrie versus Niagara in the first round of the playoffs. And hopefully I'll be able to go to that. I'm planning to go on the road for those games. And Braden says that Ekblad is not a Colts legend. Well, that's a hot take from Braden. I don't know. Seeing his banner up there raising the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers is not too shabby. That's kind of got to be almost Colts legend-esque. Jonathan says, it's honestly amazing how most teams have been in fighting for playoff spot to end the season. It's been amazing hockey. And what's really crazy is how we could have 2 playoff games on Tuesday to determine the 8th and final playoff spot in both conferences. So how it works is right now, if Owen Sound and Sarnia are tied once the regular season is over, they'll play a 1-game winner-take-all playoff to decide who finishes 8th. Owen Sound would have home ice advantage because they have the tiebreaker. And in the East, because North Bay is only 2 points up on Ottawa, we could have a Battalion 67's 1-game playoff, which would also be on the Tuesday. and it looks as though North Bay would have home ice advantage for that one-game playoff. So this has been quite the season with the race at the bottom of the conferences. So it's been a lot of fun. And Braden says Little is the best Colts player. He's got to be up there. His numbers already in the rafters for highest scoring in Barrie Colts franchise history. So I would probably lean towards that hot take, Braden. And Zachary says that Aitchison is a beast, and I can't wait to see what he can do at the National Hockey League level. He's one of the players that always has a smile on his face, no matter what the situation. If it's goal scoring, getting in a fight, throwing a hit, he's always exciting to watch. And he's one of those players that can definitely flip into beast mode. And Jonathan says, "Grr, Thomas West is waving. Hello, Thomas West." Gilroy says, "I didn't say the legend. I said a legend." Okay, well, I'll go with that. Jonathan says this is an odd schedule. The schedule has been a little different this year. I know there's been some comments about how the schedule has played out. It'd be interesting to get a behind-the-scenes look with the OHL, just to go over how they come up with the schedule. I know there's one person who's in charge of the schedule making, so maybe I'll have to talk to the league. Maybe we can get an interview or something. Or maybe the league can do a behind-the-scenes video on how they come up with the schedule, because there is some questions about how the schedules are put together. And Zachary says, Porter Martone had a good game yesterday. That was actually the Steelheads overall. They could just coast into the playoffs. They know they're going to be finishing 5th in the Eastern Conference standings. So a bit of a statement game yesterday from Martone and the Steelheads winning in Brantford, as that prevented the Bulldogs from getting closer to winning the East Division. Helps out Kingston, helps out the Barrie Colts, who technically have a chance to catch Brantford. But, yeah, very impressed by Martone and the Steelheads in their win last night. And Jonathan says it goes by rote. Yep, so regulation overtime wins. So, yeah, that's the tiebreaker. You're correct there, Jonathan. IDK says, what's your dark horse for the West playoff tree if it started today? That's tough, because I feel like maybe Saginaw or Erie could be an interesting team to maybe go on a bit of a run here. The top three are a given. The London Knights, the Windsor Spitfires, Kitchener Rangers, they've been hot all season long. The Knights, they're a juggernaut. They've now got the second most wins in a season in franchise history, which is just insane what the London Knights were able to do. So in the Western Conference, at the start of the regular season, I actually picked the Erie Otters to maybe win the West based on their team. If they can get Matthew Schaefer healthy and back in the lineup, Erliden is a fantastic goaltender. I wouldn't be surprised if Erie could make some noise. Obviously, the Saginaw Spirit, a high-scoring team. They've got a potent offense, but it's their goals against, which has kind of burned Saginaw this season, and staying out of the penalty box has also been a problem. So I almost wonder if maybe the Erie Otters are a team that could surprise some in the Western Conference, because it does look like it is a confirm that we're going to have Saginaw-Erie in that first-round playoffs. But then you've got everyone at the bottom who's been playing playoff hockey for the last 4 weeks, it seems. So one of those teams, are they hot enough to maybe upset Kitchener, Windsor, London? I have my doubts, but when you've got a team that's been playing desperate hockey, you've got that momentum, so we'll have to wait and see. But I think I'd probably lean towards maybe Erie or Saginaw as a dark horse in the Western Conference. Now, what happens if 3 teams are tied for 8th? So I do believe that with the row stat, whoever's in the 7th, they would get that 7th seed, and then you'd still have that one-game playoff between 8th and 9th. That's my understanding. And John says, that'd be awesome. Josh says, Mike, do you have pregame rituals? I don't know if I have a pregame ritual. Maybe I'm a little superstitious, but I won't admit it. But, it's a solid question there. I don't know if I really have a pregame ritual. Thomas says, great question by Josh. I think Thomas is kind of sucking up to Josh on that question, as now the Rogers crew all comes up. They had their meal, and now they're ready to rock out and do their job. See it? Everyone's ready to go. They got their head start, and they're ready to rock.
You said the O word.
I apologize. But
now we're going to be here till midnight.
You're welcome. Zachary's wondering who's starting a net for Barrie. We've not gotten the lineup sheet as of yet, so we'll have to give that a couple of minutes, and we'll wait and see. So now that everyone's here, I'm going to have to make some room, move my laptop, and I'm going to end this live stream. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And, yeah, we'll try and do this again another time. Oh, Braid says Hillebrandt's starting. So there's your starting goaltender. So anyways, thank you for tuning in. And puck drops at 7 o'clock as we get ready for Colts and the Attack on Rogers TV.
We didn't need to crowd you.